Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more gripping true stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. I still remember the sound. Not the laughter itself, it wasn't even loud. But the way it cut through me. It was effortless, careless, the kind of laugh people make when they feel at home, when they truly belong. I was driving home late that night, one hand on the wheel, the other holding my phone. I'd called my wife, Megan, just to let her know I'd be home in 20 minutes. She picked up on the second ring, her voice soft, slightly distracted. "Hey," she said. "Hey, you okay?" I asked. There was a pause, and then, faintly in the background, a man's laughter. Not from a TV, not from outside. Too close. Too familiar. I stayed quiet at first, just listening. Megan mumbled something about being tired, said she'd talk to me when I got home, and hung up abruptly. I drove the rest of the way in silence. Every red light felt like a test. Every thought split in two, half denial, half certainty. When I walked in, the house smelled of her perfume, mixed with something else. Wine? Guilt? I couldn't tell. She sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone as if nothing had happened. "You home early?" she asked, not looking up. "Yeah," I replied. "Had a short day." I waited for her to meet my eyes. She didn't. So I sat across from her and asked the simplest question I could think of. "Who was that?" She hesitated, just a flicker. The way someone does when their mind scrambles for a lie. "What do you mean?" "The man laughing when I called you." Her eyes finally found mine. No fear, just irritation. "You're paranoid, Ethan." It was probably the TV. But the TV hadn't been on. Not all night. The screen was still dark. I didn't press it. I just nodded slowly. Maybe. That one word, maybe. Dangerous. Balances trust and doubt on the same breath. I went upstairs, changed, and lay on the bed staring at the ceiling fan. Megan stayed downstairs. I heard her open a window, maybe for air, maybe for space. The next morning she acted normal. Made coffee, chatted about errands, even kissed my cheek before I left. Her lipstick left a faint mark, not affection, just a disguise. All day that laugh replayed in my mind. I wasn't angry yet. I was studying it like a detective studies a clue that doesn't fit. That night I didn't call her. I stayed late at the office watching the clock. At 10 I drove home quietly, parked a block away. Her car was there. The living room light on. Through thin curtains I saw her pacing with a glass of wine. Laughing again. Same rhythm, different tone. A man's silhouette appeared briefly, tall, relaxed. Then gone. That was enough. I didn't storm in. Didn't shout or cry. I just turned the key and drove to a motel at the edge of town. The next morning my plan for the week was already set. People think revenge starts with anger. Doesn't. It begins with silence. I didn't go home. I went to my bank, my lawyer, my company's HR. By evening I'd signed 3 sets of documents. Freezing our joint account, transferring the house deed for legal review, and authorizing my lawyer to act under marital fraud protections. When Megan called that night, her voice was different, cautious, wary. "Ethan, where are you? You didn't come home last night." "I know," I said. "I needed space." "For what?" I smiled to myself, though she couldn't see it. "For clarity." A pause. "Can we talk?" "Sure," I said. Tomorrow would sound different. Next morning I woke early. Betrayal sharpens the mind, like a wound that won't bleed but burns. I drove home around 8. The house looked unchanged, quiet, ordinary, pretending. Megan was in the kitchen, hair tied back, humming, acting as if 15 years of trust could be erased in one careless night and she'd get away with it. Her face lit up in that practiced way she always used when she wanted control. "You're back," she said. "Yeah," I replied. "We need to talk." She poured coffee, hands steady. Steady in a way that betrayed her ignorance. "Megan," I said, setting the cup down untouched. "One chance. Tell me the truth. Who was he?" Her eyes darted to the window for a moment, then back at me. "Ethan, you're imagining things." I smiled calmly. "Then explain why your phone bill shows a number I don't recognize. The same one you called 37 times last month." Color drained from her face. Silence. "You went through my phone records," she said finally, as if that were the real betrayal. "I went through my life," I said quietly. "And you weren't in it anymore." She exhaled, short, guilty. "It's not what you think." Then what was it? Comfort, she said, voice shaking. He listened. You've been distant for months. I didn't mean for it to happen. Half-truth dressed as confession. I stood, sliding the cup aside. I didn't come here to fight, Megan. I came to end the performance. What does that mean? The accounts are frozen. The car is in my name. The house is under review. You wanted freedom. Now you have it. Her breath caught. You can't do that. I can, I said, calm. The laughter that had haunted me for days now felt distant, like a bad song fading. She followed me down the hall, voice breaking. Ethan, please, we can fix this. No, I said. You can't fix what you mocked. You laughed beside another man while your husband called to say he was on his way home. Tears filled her eyes, but I'd seen enough tears in my life to know which were real and which were tactics. I walked to the door. She reached for me. I stepped back. You made your choice. I'm making mine. Then I left. For days I stayed with my brother. He didn't ask questions, just handed me a beer and turned on the game. Sometimes silence between men is the kindest empathy. By Friday, Megan called again. 10 missed calls. A text, we need to talk. I didn't answer. At noon, my lawyer called. She came in, he said. Seems like she's realizing what she lost. Good, I said. She wants you to reconsider. I looked out the window at a neighbor's kid laughing. A clean, innocent laugh. Tell her, I said. I already did. He hesitated. Sure. I'm done living in a house where truth echoes louder than the people in it. That night, I returned one last time to collect a few things. The house felt hollow, like a stage after the play ends. On the coffee table was a note. I made a mistake. Please call me. I folded it once and left it. Some words don't deserve an audience. I stood at the doorway, looked around. The silence wasn't painful. It was peaceful. I locked the door, walked down the steps, and for the first time in years felt weightless. My phone buzzed, another message. I miss you. I typed one reply before blocking her number. So do your memories. I drove away. People think revenge is punishment. It isn't. It's restoration. Reclaiming the parts of yourself given to someone who didn't deserve them. The next day I laughed again. Not bitterness, not irony. Just a quiet, clean laugh. The kind belonging to a man who finally remembers his own worth. And this time no one else was laughing,